It's Ed here from A Physio. I just wanted to touch base and talk about a few things which I'm seeing a lot of in terms of people's mobility, the mistakes that people are making with working at home, exercising at home, and talk about the current situation that we're in as well. So obviously it's unprecedented. There's a lot of uncertainty and potential sources of stress. People, there's new announcements every day, and there's huge pressures on the NHS, which is stressful, and hats off to everyone who's working in the NHS right now. And I'd like to say that we're doing free consultations for people in the NHS at the moment. If you're in the NHS, you've got a niggle, you've got something you're worried about, then you just need to touch base with us. There's also financial and economical uncertainty. People who A, we don't know when this is going to end, and B, potentially there's been a huge reduction in work for certain people. So all in all, a very, very unique situation to be in. And obviously my viewpoint is with the body in mind, and with helping people not fall into bad habits and not fall into traps which are going to potentially cause overload through the body and cause injuries and worsen injuries potentially as well. So one of the big mistakes I'm seeing people make is with the type of exercise that people are doing at home. Obviously at home you want that hit, you want the rush, you want the buzz, the high, potentially you want the sweat, you want the kind of feel like you've done a good workout, burn off some energy, which is why people are favouring a lot of HIIT workouts, which I love and I think are great. But there's a plyometric explosive element to them. And what that means is for the body is that for the leg, so for example, if we're hopping, skipping, jumping, is there's 3, 4, 5, maybe more times the body weight going through the leg or through the knee or the ankle at one time during one rep. So if we're doing 15 minutes or half an hour or longer, we're doing that 3, 4, 5 times a week, and we're going from nothing or potentially from a different type of exercise to that. It's what we call a spike in loading, and it's where there's a huge increase in load and pressure through parts of the body. For example, the knee, the ankle, the hip, the back. And week 1, you may be okay. Week 2, you'll be okay. 3, 4, is when you'll be carrying the fatigue, is when your body's going to be struggling because you've got 3, 4 weeks of heavy exercise in your legs. And what I don't want to see is people to get injured and then not be able to exercise at all. So that would be the first mistake that I think people are making. The second one is the desk setup. I think I've talked about this in a previous video, that the bed worker, the sofa worker, the ironing board worker, all just not going to help. You're not going to be good for your body. And the best thing I can advise you to do is to keep moving. You could be in the worst position in the world, but if you're getting up and moving every 20 minutes, then it doesn't matter too much, if I'm honest. If you're in the best position, best chair in the world, but you sit there for 3 hours, then it doesn't matter how good the chair is. As the Aussies say, motion is lotion, and that's really, really important. So keep moving more than, obviously sitting well is important as well. Maybe that we can go into that in another video, because there's a real science to that. The last mistake I'm seeing people make is again to do with exercise, and it's basically around people thinking that if I go for one run in a day, that's enough exercise for me for the whole day. But realistically, it's a drop in the ocean. And if you're running for 20 minutes at the end of a day where you've been sat for the entire day, it doesn't quite work like that. You can't kind of break even from a whole day of sitting with a run at the end of the day or at the start of the day. It has to be regular, little and often. I'm not saying go out running every hour, but moving, going up and down the stairs, doing some gentle movements, taking your head through, full range of motion, that's what's important. Little and often, not saving it all up for one at the end of the day, because the damage has been done anyway. I mean, obviously it's not damage, and I don't want to scare people, but that's more of just a saying. But stress has already been put on the body, and it can't be undone by exercising and by running at the end of the day. So it has to be regular. It has to be set an alarm on your phone. Plan your day. Do whatever you can to make sure your joints are moving. You're kind of keeping your heart rate, not just static. And think of creative ways of doing that. Think of maybe every hour you pick up your phone and call someone, and you're on the phone, and you stand up whilst you're on the phone. If you are very busy at work, then think about how you can get moving whilst you're at work still. Everyone's got a different kind of work, but maybe it's standing up whilst you're on the phone. Maybe you could make some sort of standing desk at home, or maybe it's making sure you're drinking lots of water, staying hydrated, so you're getting up and down to go and fill your water up, and etc. So they would be the three things I'd try and avoid. I'd love to hear from you if you have any questions, so I'll speak to you soon.